What's up, you guys? It's your girl Taylor. Welcome back to another video all about my medical school application process. So today I thought I would make a video on how I made my school list and decided what schools to apply to. So first and foremost, the only real resource I use to build my school list is something called MSAR. This is it's like $26 for like 6 months of a subscription or something like that. But this has all of the information of every medical school in one place, at least for the AMCAS application. So I'm just going to kind of jump into it. The very first thing I did was think about, okay, like what factors are really important to me in deciding what school I would want to go to. So of course, statistics were really important to keep in mind, where my MCAT and GPA fell. But for me, honestly, location was a really big factor. I go to a lot of concerts, and so I definitely wanted to be in a big city where I would have, access to being able to go to a lot of concerts without having to travel too far. So basically, what I did is I went in here, and all of this information will be available when you have an active subscription. I don't have an active subscription right now, so I'm just kind of showing you the locked version of this. But for this, you can click on any medical school and you'll find their median MCAT, their GPA, any letter of recommendation requirements that they have, their class size, how many people they interview, literally anything you could want to know about a school. So I basically went through this website. I think I first kind of this will unlock, of course, when you have the subscription. But I first kind of judged, okay, my MCAT's a 507. Like, let me kind of see schools that are in that range in a big city. And then ultimately, what I did is I just kind of started copying and pasting all of this information into an Excel spreadsheet. So I had the school name, the city it was located in, their median MCAT, and then I also put the range of their 10th to 90th percentile MCAT, which can be found way at the bottom of the MSAR. I had their medium GPA, any letter of recommendation requirements, any special notes I wanted on the school, like for example, if like they required Casper or something like that. And then I also copy and pasted the school's mission statement into this Excel sheet, as well as the cost of their secondary and the prompts of their secondary. You can find old medical school prompts. I'll put the website on the screen because I can't remember it offhand. And that will show you like historic prompts, and they're very unlikely to change year to year. Once I did that, I had something that looked like this. Kind of ignore the colors for now. So this is ultimately my actual school list. So now that I have a list of pretty much like every school, I decided to first color code them. So how I did this was I picked this green color for any school that I was really close to their median MCAT. I picked this yellow color for any school where I was a few points off from the median, but I fell somewhere in between that 10 to 90th percentile. So I knew they accepted students with my MCAT score. I picked this yellow color where, again, maybe I'm now like 10 points off from the median. I don't quite fall in that, 10 to 90 percentile range that they take, but, I want to apply there. I want to give it a shot. I might as well see what happens. And then lastly, I use this red color for my far reach schools of, I know the school is really out of my league. My stats don't quite align with it, but if I didn't shoot my shot, I would regret it. So let me just go ahead and apply. So after I had that list, the next thing I did to narrow down my list even more was focus on their mission statement. I think this is something that a lot of people don't necessarily do, but I honestly think it's really important. So what I would do is like I said, I copy and pasted their mission statement, and then I read it and made sure that I fit their mission. So for example, George Washington University, they want to educate a diverse workforce of tomorrow's leaders in medicine, science, and healthcare. They want to heal through innovation and compassionate care. They want to advance research. They want a culture of excellence through inclusion, service, and advocacy. And they also wanted to embrace the challenge of eliminating health disparities. So I told myself, do I fit this school's mission? I am definitely a leader. I have a lot of leadership qualities in my application. I am, of course, someone who's very empathetic, and I really, care about people and what make them people outside of their illness. I also have research experience, and that's something that I'm very interested in continuing throughout my career, hoping to advance the medical field. Definitely, inclusion, service, advocacy, standing up for people who may not feel like they have a voice, or people who are seen as less than because of the different identities that they have, is something that's very important to me. I myself, fall in a minority category, so that is also something I showed a lot through my activity descriptions and my personal statement. And then finally, embracing the challenge of eliminating health disparities and transforming healthcare. I have this unspoken dream in the back of my head to open like a pro bono LGBTQ plus mental health clinic. So kind of like little things like that. Like, yes, I knew like if someone asked me about this on interview day, I could talk about ways that I want to help kind of push medicine forward, help eliminate the stigma of mental health. That is something I talked about so much in my applications, and it's so important to me. So I wanted to make sure that I fit all of my school's mission statements. So for example, if a school had a mission statement that was like very service driven, very much wants to help underrepresented communities, and I didn't have a lot of like volunteering experience in my application, that probably isn't a school that's really going to see me as a great fit. So then I could think about, do I want to spend the money to apply to that school, knowing that I'm probably not going to get very far in their process, but there's a chance. And then the last thing I took into consideration, which this is very specific to me, I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's something that was kind of important for me to consider, is I copy and pasted their past secondary prompts, and I wanted to make sure that I actually had an answer to their questions, because I didn't want to receive their secondary and then be like, oh, actually, I don't really know how to answer these questions. Let me just not submit the secondary and have wasted money on the primary. And this, of course, helped me after I submitted my primary application to then go through this list and start pre-writing secondaries before they actually rolled in. So that's all for this video. This was just a really quick thing to think about your school list. I would say when you're starting to form your school list, think about the factors that are most important to you. If it's financial, then put that information in your spreadsheet. If it's location, if it's the number of people, if it's the different identities of people at that school, like how many are people of color versus how many are white versus how many are LGBTQ+, then put that in your spreadsheet. Really just think about the factors that are important to you, and that's what you want to consider when making your school list. But I hope this video was helpful. Feel free to give me a thumbs up and check out my playlist on my whole medical school application process. And also subscribe if you want to join me in my medical school journey. Until next time, peace.